All right. Hey, everybody out there. How you guys all doing today? Welcome one, welcome all. Man, are we so fortunate. We have got the Dream Team -1 here. So let me tell you what, we have if you were to define this team, it would be the sexy beasts. We definitely would be the beast part of it, and the Cryptomus would be the sexy. Okay. So we have three amazing traders all here under one roof today. We've got the amazing Darth. We got Darth Vader in the house. Listen, this man is the alt whisperer. I don't know how he does it. I love what he does, but I don't seriously. I mean, I cannot keep up with. I can barely keep up with one coin, let alone this guy's like tracking like 50 of them, right? And then we have the master of disaster, the yacht master himself, Mr. Chonis in the house, Mr. Las Vegas, Mr. Big Pimpin' Monte Carlo. He is here. Listen, this guy, I swear to God, I love his TA. He is always on point. Whenever I'm a little bit like in there, trust me, this happens a lot. Whenever I'm a little uncertain of where I'm at, I'll go over, watch his videos, see what he's got going on, and I just absolutely his TA always helps me to confirm where I'm at or what I'm looking at. You know, just another great indicator. Listen, the guy is also a master teacher, so any of you guys looking to learn how to trade, I personally would highly recommend just hooking up with the Chone. Just give him a message, man. The guy is all about helping people learn how to trade, right? So so we're gonna hear. So let's get right to it. We've got there. You can see Darth there. What's going on, Jesse? How you doing, brother?
I'm hanging in there. Got
Nice.
a whole lot of stuff planned. All right, there we go. There's all of us. Well, focus on me.
Yeah, yeah. Focus on him.
All right, so here's the agenda. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do you can do just my shot, right? Full screen.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I can do
everybody can
full screen.
see my offices. I got my wife has a setup in her desk behind me, so our joint office is jam packed. Oh yeah, no, I see all three of us. I want to run through a few different things. I wanted to do give everybody an opportunity to hear about what we're doing with the group, right? So we have the new group, Flux Trading Group. I wanted to introduce everybody to that. Do a personal introduction, all three of us. This is who I am and where I'm from and what I do. Same with Chonis, same with Vamp. Then we'll get into how I trade, the techniques I use, and the different models I use, how I do what I do. The three of us will go through that sort of stuff. Then we'll do a quick Q&A. If anybody has any questions about how we trade, the most convenient way for you to give us your money, because we like other people's money because we don't really have to do as much for it. I'm Jewish, so we like making Jewish money jokes because I am extremely stereotypically cheap Jew. Don't throw a penny on the ground in front of me, or I might get a concussion diving for it. That's one of the jokes. But all kidding aside, I want to go through all that stuff, give you a chance to ask any questions. If you're curious about how we roll, what we're doing in the group, how we've set certain things up, you'll have an opportunity to do that. And then we'll go over some TA. We'll run over the market, the big drop today, what we think is going to happen. I'll go over a few alts, some of the things we're looking at. And then we'll take some more questions. If you guys have anything you want us to look at specifically, or any questions, whether it's majors, alts, you guys take the lead. We'll turn it over to you at that point. So without further ado, let me break down what we're doing with the group. I'm going to switch over and share my screen so you guys can see the Discord group. Now, I'm not going to show you each of our what's in all of the sections, because that's only for private group members, obviously. But I can at least show you the layout of all the channels, the channels we're offering to members of the group. So let me put that on. And oh, good thing I didn't put on that other screen. That would have been a mess. Now, there are a few things I will show you in here specifically. I don't have the other thing up, so tell me, Vamp, when I have my screen live. There we go. Now I see it. Yeah, I can see it on the live stream. Yeah, I can see it on the YouTube. All right, so screen's up. I see it right now. All right. I'm literally looking at it. The problem with Vamp is once you reach your 90s, it's a lot more difficult to navigate technology and stuff. So as much as we love him, we have to kind of guide him through. We can see you down on the bottom corner too. So, all right, let me run through the group really quick and give you a quick rundown. The main section here at the top, you'll see the Techlo section, bot. We partnered up with a great guy who developed a couple amazing bots. They've performed far better than I ever could have anticipated. It has been really insane. Just to give you an idea, one of the bots that he uses, you don't get that many calls with it, right? We get occasional signals, but we don't get a ton of calls, and I'll show you why. With the automated bot calls, you'll see this is the last call. It was from the 17th, so it was already a week ago, but it told us there was going to be a potential major drop of $1,000 or more. What happened today? To have that ahead of time and to know, I'm not saying you should automatically trade based on what some bot tells you. I always advise everybody, you know, this is a very serious matter. I never tell anybody what to do with their money. I never tell anybody how to invest or what to do in any way whatsoever. And especially when it comes to trading with a bot, you need to use it as a tool, right? It's an extra edge where it can give you confirmation. If you already believe something may happen, if your analysis and some of your favorite analysts agree on the same thing, that bot notification could be all you need to make you kind of pull the trigger and say, all right, now I have a higher confidence level. So it's just a tool. I don't want you to think it's a guarantee, obviously, right? But having that bit of information early is pretty insane. This drop today was massive, and you would have had an edge by having access to the bot because it told you we could see a major $1,000 drop. And sure enough, it came true. Now, I don't want to go into the other channels in the bot section because those are only for bot members. But well, I could actually show you the scalper stuff. So now the scalper bot, you get much more frequent notifications. And in a given day, you might get 3, 4, 5. There might be several of them. And you'll see sometimes we'll post some of the amazing calls on Twitter. But that doesn't mean those are the only amazing calls. The track record on this thing is insane. So Teklo, he's actually taking all of the old calls and placing them in a channel. So new people who want to come in and see how the bot has performed in the past, you can do your own back testing. You don't need to be in the group to be able to see how it performed in the past. He's going to set all that stuff up for you. You can come in, see all of the past calls, do your own analysis, and see how accurate it really was. So that's pretty much it for the bot. I don't want to dive into it too much further. Then we have a little public group, and this is a good time to announce. Now, we have a friends group, Foo and the Woodsman. Now, this is a completely free Discord group, and we're sort of teaming up with them so we don't have to invest our time in our little public group because it's very time consuming. Right now, which I'm going to get into in a couple minutes, with our premium group, if people want to chat with us, we're immediately responsive. We do live streams, voice calls. If somebody has an important question and a group of guys want to talk to us about BTC, any of us that are available can just hop on a voice call or do a live stream. It's very time consuming, so spending time in a free group, it gets a little bit crazy. So instead of having the free group within the new Flux Trading Group server, we're partnering up with the Foo and the Woodsman group. I'm going to send their link out on Twitter again, and I encourage everybody to join that group. It's a really great stepping stone into the group world. And if you get to the point where you want that extra level of education, dealing with analysts one-on-one and having a community where we can actually do educational content and focus on that, then you're ready to upgrade. We're obviously available. So I'll share that with you guys in the coming days. So for the rest of the group, assuming that we don't have to pay too much attention to that public group, which is going bye-bye, we have the basic group. The basic group, which is $50 a month, includes a lot of useful stuff, whether it's information about taxes or different tools you can use for trading. We provide a lot of that for you, give you a lot of links, some basic educational links, not necessarily our stuff because that's part of our premium group, but there are a lot of resources out there, a lot of guys who have put together tutorials and videos. So we direct you to that stuff so you can at least get started on the educational side of things. Then we have Chart Vamp's entire section, all of his charts and analyses for BTC, ETH, LTC, BCH, XRP, altcoins, their own chat for the Vamp section. A ton of amazing content. Then we have my section where I share every single trade I get into in short-term trades. You can see I got into Link a little while ago in short-term trades here. We have my majors charts where I do BTC and everything like that. So I have a lot of my own content that I put in besides active trades, but primarily it's just active trades is where I post all my active trades and short-term trades here. So every single altcoin that I get into, and even some of the majors that I'm trading short-term, you'll see in short-term trades. Then Chonis has his section. Again, all of his Bitcoin charts and all of his altcoin charts, everything goes in his section. And then we have the Cryptomist, who can't be on the stream, but she's putting all of her content in here as well. So we have some really skilled analysts that are putting together all of our analysis, all of our content for you guys. So if you decide you want to check out the group, you have a lot of content to work with. I'll tell you right now, the cost, the investment to get into this group is the same as my old group, and my old group was just me. So you can imagine my members are ecstatic because my prior members now have access to all of this other content from much better traders than myself, to be honest. It's not very like me to be modest. I'm just being nice. Obviously, I'm better than everybody else, but you know what I'm saying. And then after our individual sections, then we have our different chat channels for the private group, for the basic group and the premium group. We have our mods and our members provide TA and their own analysis. We talk about Forex and stocks and other markets, random chat where we shoot the shit, and then premium only, where any of our premium members can have direct access to Vamp, Chonis, and I, and the Cryptomist. We could talk about whatever they want, go over topics, different analyses. And then the real big difference is down in the premium group, where I share the best trades that are pretty time sensitive. Some of those trades where if you get in early, you make 50% before other people even have a chance to get in. So we share that sort of stuff down there. We do chart requests. I provide IT security consulting for people who are curious about what they can do to protect themselves online, whether it's best practices for managing passwords or using a VPN. That's what I did for a living in a former life for 18, 20 years. So I like giving out that advice as well. So if you need help with that sort of stuff, feel free to come by. Then we have the voice channels. We do all of our live streams, and all of our voice channels are available to premium members only. Although in the future, we love involving all of you guys on Twitter and in the public groups. So we are still going to do some live streams with you, but usually it'll probably be 20 or 30 minutes with the public group, and then we'll move on to only the premium group for the duration of the stream. And then Flux University, we have some really great content in here. I'm putting up more and more every day. I'm adding in. We have a plethora of personal tutorials that we've done. We're going to be doing live streams. I have some of my past live streams that are 3, 4, 5 hour long marathons talking about Fibonacci, Elliott wave, support and resistance, swing trading, scalping, day trading, everything you could possibly imagine I've gone over. So I'm adding all of that content, all of Chonis's educational content, Vamp's educational content. So I'm building up a pretty insane database of educational material here. Everything from basics, intro to crypto, like how do you use Coinbase, what is TradingView, and how do you use TradingView. In trading tools, I go over how to do paper trading in order to practice, how do you set limit orders, market orders, and stop loss orders on Binance, even the really basic stuff. It can be really helpful for more experienced traders to get a review of these more basic concepts, because it's not uncommon for you to miss some of the most important basic steps as you're learning, because most people speed through the beginner stuff. And then we get into technicals, how to read charts, intro to charting, support and resistance, all sorts of different indicators, pretty much everything you can imagine that we use. And then we get into risk management and a few more. I haven't even built the rest of these channels yet, but you can see we're pretty dedicated to the educational thing. So Flux University is going to be jam-packed with educational content. If you guys want to learn, that's one of the main things that separates us from other crypto communities out there. I will do a 2-hour live stream with 3 people right now and go over nothing but the 3 topics you guys want to. And I won't stop that live stream until you feel comfortable that you've learned everything you need to learn to take your education to the next level. I think the educational aspect is the most important part of what I do, and I am insanely dedicated to it, as are the rest of the team. So that's it. That's pretty much what we have for the Discord. It's constantly evolving, and we have new channels coming in, some different changes that we're going to be making, but overall, that's the general lineup. And if you guys have any questions about that, you can feel free to join the public chat. Even though we're going to be working with Fu and the Woodsman on having like a free group option, we're still going to have our main public chat available, and anybody can come in there and ask questions about the group and inquire into certain features, what have you. So that's that. Now, if you guys don't mind, before we get into any charts, I wanted to run through all of us. I've been yapping for a while, so I'll pass it off to Vamp. I'll let him and Chonis go, and then come back to me. We'll do a quick 2, 3, 4 minute intro into ourselves, how we got here, type of traders we are, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So, Vamp, take it away.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Great job over there. Thank you so much, Darth. Hey, listen, the first thing I want to do is just make sure that you guys understand that, there's 4 really well rounded analysts that are in the channel, and having all of us also helps you go around and get, put your finger on the temperature of where crypto is at today. And I feel one of the things too is a lot of us are really unbiased when it comes to the market. Like right now, I'm still bullish on the market. I still think that we're just coming down for a dip, and then we've got one more run up. So I still think that we have one more run up as long as we don't drop too low. But right now, I say let's bring it over to Chon. Right, Chon, where you at, brother? There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Love this guy. Love this guy. Seriously, if I was that good looking and that manly, Jesus Lord. Seriously.
Chon, do a quick run through your background, how you got and stuff, and all that good stuff. Oh, you're on camera too, so smile.
Hi guys, thanks for having it. Thanks for joining. 166 of our close friends in the chat room tonight. So yeah, listen, I really got into day trading pretty heavy almost 9-10 years ago. Really cut my teeth in OTC penny stocks. It was kind of a lesson in extreme volatility trading, and it's what really got me interested in technical analysis, especially classical analysis, and playing around with all sorts of different indicators and stuff. Got into crypto around mid to late 2016, and was hooked because there were so many parallels from my experience with OTC. Tremendous volatility, parabolic moves, hyper waves. 10xing, 20xing, 100xing, even some circumstances, and the volatility of the drops and the pullbacks are epic. So I was so used to trading that kind of a system, and crypto became just another pathway, except it gave so many more advantages to the real dog shit market that is OTC penny stocks. And I love the fact it's 24 hours and stuff. So there's so much data that I get to analyze and kind of churn through to set my bias on trading and stuff. I really focus on Bitcoin. I do have an overall sense, of course, of all the alts and stuff like that, and there is always great opportunities in the altcoin market, but I'm a big fan of being able to trade Bitcoin on leverage, especially, and take advantage of opportunities that are either oversold or overbought in the market, and use lots of different indicators that I like to talk about in my TA, everything from oscillators to divergences, Ichimoku, Fibonacci, extensions and retracements, overall moving averages, EMAs. And I love using fractals and trying to find interesting areas of history that tend to repeat themselves in crypto. So I'm really excited to be a part of this group with some excellent traders, and I think this is going to be just a great opportunity for us to share and convey our knowledge. And I think as a group and going forward in this industry, we have the opportunity to become incredibly successful. This is a team effort, and I think we're going to succeed in that.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. All right, so I'm going to do a really quick intro to me, and then we'll run through a little bit more detail into how we trade and the models and techniques we use, and then we'll start looking at some charts. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm pretty out there. I'm not very shy, so most of you probably do know me. For those who haven't heard my story before, I got wrecked with everybody else. I don't try to be a pro. I don't pretend to be a professional. I'm an amateur just like you guys. The difference is I got wrecked when everybody else did. And then since I was self-employed and I could afford to do it, I spent every single second of every single day that I was awake for the next month working my ass off until I was able to trade every single day without losing. Once I got to that point, I moved my money back into the market, and I've been doing pretty damn well ever since. So I essentially took all my money out, put it into an account on the side. I started paper trading, and at that point, I worked on every possible technique I could, came up with different styles, different strategies, and I eventually came up with a couple key things, right? So I came up with my Ichimoku model, which for those who don't know, I use 5 dynamic support and resistances. It's an extremely simple model. So I use the 55, the 99, and the 222 EMAs, and I use the Ichimoku cloud, and I use the top and the bottom of the cloud specifically. So those 5 lines give me dynamic support and resistances. Normally, if you look at this link chart right here, I have a ton of horizontal supports. Then you have Fibonacci, which is another type of horizontal support. Every fib level is another horizontal support and resistance, right? So this dynamic support allows me to go into trades in certain areas where I might not have good horizontal supports from past trading, but I can identify these dynamic, meaning they're dynamic, they move with the price action, and I can find support and resistance like right here. My 99 EMA was a massive support on this dip. So I would have entered right there if I was watching it. I wasn't watching it at the time. I ended up getting in a little bit later, but you can see it came back down and bounced right off the 55. Then we came back down and my EMAs held up again. So that very basic strategy has taken me very far. And that's one of the main things that I do focus on teaching. That along with risk management. And one of the other important things that I've come up with is my FATA PAMP model. It's FATAPAMP. And that's just a simple acronym to remember: fundamental analysis, technical analysis, market psychology, and people. Because a lot of the time you'll hear someone say, oh, I don't like TA. I'm a fundamentals trader. I think TA is stupid. I don't use Elliott Wave. It's stupid. Anybody who says that is not dedicated to being a successful trader, and you probably shouldn't listen to them. Because if they're willing to throw out an entire indicator or an entire subset or style of trading, they're not open-minded enough to consider every tool they have at their disposal. You need to consider every piece of data that could possibly be used to improve your probability of success. So when I look at a trade, I look at fundamentals, I look at technicals, I look at market psychology. I might do a search and see how many people in Google Trends have searched for how to buy Ripple in the last year. That might give me an indication whether or not the public is getting more or less interested. Then I might look at Brad Garlinghouse or CZ or Justin Sun, and looking at a single individual person could actually give you insight into a trade as well. So I'm open to every piece of data I can get my hands on, and that's the reasoning behind my FATA PAMP model. Every single trade, I look at all 4 of those key data sets. So between all those things, the way they work together and the way I've figured out how to work with them together, I've been able to trade very successfully. And I love sharing that information with you guys. So for people who are in the group, you're well aware of that. For people who are not in the group, stop being cheapskates. Come and learn, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Right, God, I think I'm the last one to go. All right, everybody. Hey, how you guys doing out there? Listen, I've been just like a lot of you guys. I got into this at absolutely the wrong time. The only difference is I am an experienced businessman. I own a whole bunch of. There's my boss. There's the boss of me right there. I actually own a whole bunch of different businesses. I have travel all over the world as a consultant. I think one of the key things that I bring to the table here is just a market psychology, and I have a pretty good idea of recognizing patterns and trends. One of the other thing is I can go into almost any indicator and I can find things that the people who invented or created the indicators didn't or don't know what they actually created. So I'm able to go in there and find all of those key things. You know, like some of the things I go over is my the new thing I just discovered, which is the 33.3, right, on the God Mode 3.1, which is absolutely amazing. You know, it's just another, you know, this is just another great indicator that I found that just gives me great trend bias. It's that simple, and this has helped me really to increase my trading. And then the last thing is just surrounding myself with good people, and I think that's one of the key things that I've done here in crypto. Honestly, indicators aside, experience aside, all of that, I want you to all know that the most important thing that you need to surround yourself with in crypto is experienced people who have a track record of just of being good traders. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that this is really what my biggest thing is coming in here and being able to really be a part of a really good community, and surrounding myself with people like Chonis and people like Darth and people like the Cryptimus. And honestly, there's so many really good traders out there, and it's a community. And I think that's one of the greatest things here that we all have to really be appreciative of. So, you know, for me, just my thing is, it's not indicators, it's not bots, it's people power. And you can't have bots without the people who create them. You can't have indicators without the people who create them. And it's the people power still in crypto that is the magic that makes us make these amazing trades. All right. So with that being said, let's get into some TA here, right?
Let me jump in. I got one more thing I want to point out, which you just reminded me of, that I love about what we set up here. I think one of the best parts, because none of us are arrogant. I joke around and say I'm the best. Obviously, I'm kidding. Anybody who knows me knows I'm just joking around. What you guys have to realize is, before, when I had my own group, I loved it. Everybody was extremely happy in the group. I had some people who didn't like it, which is totally fine. I respect that. But for the most part, people really liked it. But there was always something I was missing, and I didn't realize what it was. As much as I try to pretend like I'm the man, obviously I'm very modest in reality. And the fact that I have some insanely skilled traders now that I can work with. So imagine this. Imagine you can actually join a live stream with the three of us where they can prove me wrong. I might not know what I'm talking about. Chonis might prove my ass wrong. Vamp might say, Jesse, you're wrong about this. So we can actually sit there and we can prove each other wrong and learn from each other. I can actually learn from these guys. So I don't know everything, obviously. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about, to have in the new setup we have going, where I can actually learn so much from these guys. Especially, I've actually been tweeting for a while. I said, are there any professional analysts out there who can tear apart my models? Because I've come up with these really simple models that are insanely efficient and successful, and I just feel like it can't be that easy. Are there any pros out there who can just tell me where I'm wrong or why I'm not exactly right? Nobody's been able to do so. So I'm really excited to work with these guys and actually be able to have people tell me when I'm wrong, and they can tell me that in front of you guys. Like, I love learning when I'm wrong. It's the best time to learn. So anyway, before we get into the charts, really quick, any of you guys have any questions you want to ask?
Hey guys, you there?
Yeah, you only have 10 minutes?
Yeah, I only have 10 minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go at this bad boy. Actually, let me run through my TA really quick here,
Yeah,
okay?
we'll skip the Q&A and just go to TA first.
Yeah, let me just rock us from my TA. Listen, everybody. This was this was clearly a triangle. I mean, we knew we were in the triangle. I was probably the first one to call out this triangle back in August 5th. So if you guys go, you can find that video of mine if you scroll back August 5th. Here was my long-term chart right here. So there was target one. I knew we were going to get to target one way and or another. We were just in this massive triangle. Listen, here's what the funny part is. If you go down, and I know people show the triangles from the past and they try to show that they broke up and everything like that. Well, listen, this was a triangle, right? This was a triangle. There's like these things are just like almost too easy to play here, right? And I know you can go back historically and you can find a lot of these memes, but that's just what it was. We were just in a simple triangle, and the triangle had to break. If you guys watch my video that I put up last night, right? I had a great video last night that I put up, and let me go find that. Hold on a second. Where's my video? Right? Let me grab this baby, right? And where was it? And where's my damn video for last night? Oh shoot, that's right. I didn't record it, right? So one of the things is we have just been banging on the support, and eventually the support gives way, right? And I put this as a tweet out last night. I said, hey, listen, the more times you test a support and a resistance, eventually it just breaks. It becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and then it eventually just fails. And that's what we had. We just had a very simple failure, right? And for me, I saw this back in August. I knew where we were heading. I knew we were going to come down. And people try to say that the market is manipulated, right? And I'm going to go with 99% yes. It's almost a guarantee that the market is absolutely manipulated, right? We know this. We know that the market makers, that the whales, that they're able to, pump and dump the price at will. And the most powerful market maker of them all is the gaps, is the CME gaps, it's the futures gaps. And you guys all have to understand that the futures gaps are always going to get filled. They always get filled, okay? And at this point right now, we are sitting at, we have one more gap, boys and girls, and oh my God, guess what? Where's that gap at? Where is it? That gap is sitting at, come here, gap. Where's the gap? There it is. There's that gap at 11,800. And let me tell you what, this gap will get filled, right? No matter how long it takes, this gap will get filled. And that's why in my longer term model, I still think that we have the possibility, and I'm saying 70% chance. 70% chance that we get one more push up to a double top, and that's where we get our big failure back down. And at that failure, I can only predict where target number 3 is. Now, all we have to do here is hold 6,200. As long as we can hold 6,200, I feel we have a greater than 70% chance to run back up to target number 2. All right? And that's it. You know, look at where our trend line is. We still got room to come down here. 7,200 is still the area we can come down. Anywhere in the 72, 7,500, as long as we hold this trend line, this is extremely bullish. And holding 6,200, which you see, you have all the fib lines down here, is going to be still bullish to me. Losing that 6,200 range, though, all bets are off, and this baby goes to the freaking, we're running to the dirt at that point, right? There are 2 very specific things that I want you to all be aware of right now. 2 absolutely just monumental issues that we have right now with doing any TA is you have to apply the fundamental analysis of at least 2 different news items, right? And news item number one is I did a huge thing last night on this. It's on Craig Wright, right? And I want you to know, if what he says turns out to be true, if those tokens do get unlocked in 2020, if those tokens are forced to be turned over to the trust of God, what's his name? Dave Kleiman. If they're forced to get turned over to Mr. Dave Kleiman, his trust, I will be shorting the living bejesus out of the market. I'm telling you, I'm going to sell the dog. I'm going to rent out the wife. I'll be giving handies. I'll do whatever it takes because I will be shorting this market to the absolute dirt because the trustees will be forced to sell. They will be forced to pay the taxes. Okay, it's exactly what is going to happen. They're trustees. They don't give a rat's ass about the market. They don't care how much Bitcoin is worth. All they know is they have to pay the taxes that are mandated by the state of Florida. The estate taxes are 40%. He got a $5 billion windfall. There's $2 billion in taxes are going to have to be paid. It's going to be absolutely amazing for Florida and a nightmare for crypto. Okay? Yes. So that's it. Listen. That's my simple TA, and I'm going to turn this over to who's going next here.
I'll go next.
All right. I got you ready. Ready, set, go.
Thanks, man. Excellent stuff as always.
Thank you. They're waiting for you, man. They see you. Go for it.
Okay, so where to begin? Basically, to kind of piggyback off Vamp, the triangle, it broke down. It wasn't dependent. The rejection at 13.8 really did mark the top of that particular cycle. And thinking about like how did that happen? Basically 3x in the first 6 months of 2019. And what we saw was Bitcoin dominance rising consistently, basically all through 2018, even though we were able to rise with it. You had Bitcoin sucking a lot of the periphery of altcoins that when we started the new year, I mean, they still had valuations of market cap, you know, in the tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars for projects that weren't really projects and weren't really going anywhere. So a lot of that altcoin deflation and selling was a big catalyst that fueled this bull run. And you combine that with tether fairies and a lot of hype across the spectrum, plus a still bullish overall equities market around the globe, or at least around the U.S. And you basically had a confluence of best of both worlds that was able to basically propel the market higher. But clearly, we basically found that no one was prepared to go any further than 13.8. And then every time we basically tried to retest that, we kept putting in these lower highs. Okay, but we were very consistently holding the. So that was a sense that maybe we weren't actually putting in this descending triangle. Maybe we were actually able just to consolidate and catch our breath after tremendous bullishness that we went through several months here. But today's price action, pretty epic, pretty notable. This is one of those historic nuclear bomb candles that that we basically see many times throughout the history of crypto there. So this is one of those days. And what we have now is when we get these nuke candles, you know, a lot of our moving average Fibonacci retracements and stuff like that. A lot of these kind of are window. And what we really try and look for historic money pools, historic areas where there was a tremendous resistance point of Bitcoin price action, followed by a rejection that was able to get broken above and held. And today's price action proved that the history we have right above $8,000 was tested, and so far has held Bitcoin's price action on today's epic volume. You can see here our volume candle. I have my average set on a 14-day rolling average. I am on the daily chart here, and you can see this volume spike was quite significant, the biggest volume spike we have had since the end of June. And we had found support at 8K. Now, the history of 8K is quite vast. We had the initial rejection here back in mid-May, and we had that kind of, I don't know if you guys remember, there was this flash crash that happened where we basically went from, you know, $8,300 all to $2,200 drop. I'm on Stamp here. This was actually several $100s lower than other exchanges. But boy, that was a lot of reaction at right around the $8,000 area. We were able to break through, and we were able to break through, you know, 9,000 became a very nasty rejection. I actually remember this candle here. So we have a history of basically historic support at around 8K, and then historic resistance moving to about 9K. And today's price action basically shows two things. We failed to hold the support that 9K was holding for years here. For months, for weeks and months. You know, how many amazing, you know, did Bitcoin provide us on our first touch right here? You know, 20% move. Then we did it again back in July, and we got almost 30% bounce again by touching the low to mid 9Ks. We had another one here where we did 50%, and then our most recent bounce here took us up to about 16% move. These were several $1,000 on just Bitcoin price action getting close, near, or touching 9K zone. So we have broken through that. So I talk a lot about, you know, so now 9K, you know, 9,100-ish or so, now is becoming major resistance, okay, after being able to hold for such a long time and now failing to hold support. It is going to be an epic battle to come above. Now, you guys see these bars over here on my side. This is my PVR. Basically, the volume weighted price action in this particular field. And what we see is once we fail to hold the tremendous amount of price action between 10,000 and 10,350, 10,400 dollars range for several months, there was a gap. And we talk about gaps in price history on the CME. We don't necessarily talk about gaps too much Bitcoin, because it's a you know, it never ends. There's never an opening closing gap, except for very small low time frames on extreme volatility. But we do have these gaps in the volume, and basically what this shows us is pools of liquidity and areas where Bitcoin tends to blast through. Now you notice we were able to blast through this area, 1, 2, 3, in like 7 days, where Bitcoin, once we were able to break above this 8 region, was on its way from 8K all the way to $14,000 on another $6,000 move in Bitcoin once we were able to find hold support and break above 8K. So tremendous history here. So when we do have these candles and we break through, you know, our lower Bollinger, we break through our EMAs, we break through our MA50, MA100, we even break through our MA200 on the daily chart intraday, you know, only to find a little support here on the closing candle. I mean, these are things that we look to basically hold that ultimate support. What I will point out here is that we have, other than this $8,000 area, we have a tremendous gap here of very limited price history, where Bitcoin tends to accelerate rather fast through, and that basically is dictated from anything sub $7,500 all the way down to 50. There's a big gap of history of volume and support. So right now, I'm not saying we're going down there tomorrow, but because we failed to hold this 10K area, that becomes now notable resistance. And now all we're doing right now is trying to see how strong this $8,000 area can be. So when we do have these major areas, major price moves, what I like to do is look at oscillators and kind of get a sense about where this stands in terms of strength, in terms of historic standpoint, in terms of indicators and oscillators that the history has shown us. We've been watching this unbalanced volume here. Let me go actually to Coinbase for weeks here, and I've been very big. I have been saying that the middle channel support line is failing to hold support. We did try and back test it a couple times. And because we have such good history here on the lower channel support of our OBV, give or take a little there, you know, I'd be thinking to myself, if we get to a condition where we're touching this lower line of support here, I'd be interested to see if we can find that area as support and get, you know, some sort of a notable bounce on that. But right now it's telling me we have running down until that support is found. So our daily RSI, you know, I talk about how 50 and that from a daily standpoint is so important. Rejected hard 4 or 5 days ago, big warning sign. Then we broke down from our little triangle here. And again, these were warning signs over the past days that we were losing our bullish momentum. And as you can see, we've been arcing, you know, arcing lower here on our side, only to go almost parabolically negative in our most recent price action. From a historical standpoint, we have not been down to these areas since November of the year. So we are in lows that we had not touched in 2019. After failing to hold this key area of support, we were able to hold back in January. So there was time, there were warnings on these oscillators that basically saying the bears were asserting themselves. Along with our very weak stochastic here, and actually make this a little wider so you can see. And this is important. The stochastic talks about strength in the market, also talks about oversold and overbought positions, which definitely are possibilities here. But basically, what we're looking at is basically we're now bottoming out from a daily chart standpoint. Necessarily means this is our bottom in terms of our price action, but we're getting closer to an area where you would expect to see some sort of a long support versus a short support there, or that kind of opportunity. And just real quick here, talking money flow, same thing, descending triangle, losing this center line channel of support, now below our zero line. We did this a little bit back in July and we're able to bounce higher. Now we're losing it again. And, you know, a lot of bearishness that we had, you know, it was defined by the bear market 2018 and 2019 there. So listen, this is a major day in price history of Bitcoin. This was a major pullback. Just the last thing I want to mention real here, just trying to keep a very, large scale, kind of a higher time frame understanding here. We've given back half
Hey,
of the
Sean,
2019.
your audio's cutting out a tiny bit. So just make sure maybe in perfectly. It's not too bad, but it's a little bit.
Shit, okay. All right, so let me just finish that. More than half of 20, and this will definitely humble a lot of people that were basically, hodlers the whole way through, and basically seeing that this is a market where you're bullish for the long run. If you are under the hope and the dream that Bitcoin at some point will be all-time high again, then some. To not take some money off the table in these massive because Bitcoin gives massive retracements. It gives and it taketh away. And until we lose golden pocket support, which can still be down as low as the low 7Ks, this can still be a very heated and harsh yet healthy retracement for the extension of this next move here. And lastly, as we get closer to the halving, which is in May, all bullish I can become. So
Hey,
that's what I'm
Chon,
seeing.
put the mic a little closer. Your auto mute is cutting in. It's cutting the audio off.
Yeah, it's really right close.
Hey, Sean.
So that's all I got.
All right. Well, I missed a bunch of what you shown, but it's perfect that I did because I wanted to run through a couple things that I was looking at, and that way you can tell me if I'm way off base or something. Let me clear it so I can show you from scratch what I was thinking, and you can tell me if I'm on the same page. So, really quick, as I mentioned to you guys before, I love trading alts. Like a lot of the time, people will say like I'll say, man, I think BTC is going to break up here, and I'll break, and then somebody will like respond to my tweet and be like, oh, you were so wrong. I'm like, yeah, I was. Is that like a bad thing? The reason why I don't really care is because of my risk management skill, right? If it drops down, I get stopped out. I'm back in USD and my money's so I'm not usually too worried about bigger overall moves on BTC since I focus so much on alts. And since my risk analysis and risk management is so, I'm not really worried about being wrong. So I don't worry about too much of my BTC analysis. Sometimes I get a BTC analysis that is like insanely on point, and I'll trade it pretty heavily when that happens. I actually did that a few months back. It's a public video on my YouTube channel. I think I made that one where I kind of just spotted a new count and I had this path up to like 10K plus. It ended up going perfectly. Probably the best LA wave count and model I've ever called a couple weeks in advance. So as a continuation of that, I kind of went back to look at it because I haven't in a while. Like I said,
And I just lost everybody. What the hell? That's not good. Alright, I just lost the boys. Give me a second here, everybody. Yeah, I don't know what. Hold on a second. Let me get these guys back on. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can get these boys back. Yeah, I'm still thinking that we're going to head back down here. I still think. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah, they're frozen. It's my Discord. Discord locked up. It's Discord. Discord locked up. I was streaming them through Discord, and Discord totally just locked up on me. Yeah, it's the Discord. Discord's locked up. Can't even leave the call. I'm stuck. Yep. Give me let me see if I can close the Discord of these guys. There we go. There we go. All right. I got Discord closed. There we go. Let me reload this back up. Ah, why did it do that? Yeah, it's definitely Discord that's locked up right now. All right, boys and girls, listen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on here, but give me a second. Let me try to end this.